Welcome to this course, Introduction to Urban Design. I'm the lecturer of this course. My name is Xiaofei Chen. In this very first lesson, we need to get an overview of urban design, understanding what is urban design and what are the differences between various disciplines in environmental design. Environmental design includes some key disciplines like architecture, urban design, urban planning, landscape architecture, and interior design. They all focus on creating sustainable spaces, but differ in their scale and specific focus. This course provides an introduction to the basic knowledge of urban design. So, what is urban design? Overall, urban design is a multifaceted discipline. It is considered as the intersection of architecture, urban planning, and landscape architecture. It connects the field of the three to better organize physical space and community environments. Although there is no consensus on the precise definition of urban design, various definitions can be given based on different perspectives. Urban design can be generally considered as the design of buildings and the spaces between that focuses on the specific design processes and outcomes. It is the collaborative and multidisciplinary process of shaping the physical settings for life, or the art of making places. It can establish frameworks and procedures that will deliver successful development by different people over time. And it is the process of creating functional and aesthetically pleasant spaces. So simply to put it, in this course, urban design is defined as a comprehensive environmental design that focuses on the spaces between buildings. When comparing urban design and architecture, they both focus on buildings and spaces and the relationship between the two. This means that they are both committed to the understanding and shaping of the interaction and impact between buildings and their environment. Moreover, they both focus on the relationship between the building facade and the surrounding environment. This emphasizes that buildings are not just independent structures, but are closely connected to the surrounding environment. And it is necessary to consider how to make buildings and the environment coexist harmoniously. However, there are some clear differences between urban design and architecture. Urban design focuses more on the form of public spaces outside the buildings. It guides the design through a rationalized, comprehensive urban design system analysis, which means that logic and analysis used in the design process to ensure the rationality and feasibility. In addition, urban design also places special emphasis on the interests and the will of the public. That is to say, urban design should not only be beautiful but also practical and should be able to meet the needs of the general public and improve their quality of life. In contrast, architectural design focuses more on the form of buildings and their internal spaces. It combines perceptual cognition and technology, which means that the designer's creativity and aesthetics are incorporated into the design process, while ensuring the functionality and technical feasibility of the building. Architectural design depends on the goals and needs of the designer himself and the client, which requires the designers to not only have an artistic sense, but also be able to understand and meet the specific requirement of the client. Here is an example of architects engaging in urban design. This is the famous but unrealized urban design project in Paris, designed by Le Corbusier in the 1920s, which is called the Reading City. It can be seen that architects tend to design cities through specific three-dimensional solutions. When we're comparing urban design and urban planning, They are both committed to coordinate spatial relationship between various components in the city. This means that they are all concerned with how to properly design the various parts of the city, such as buildings, roads, parks, and other facilities. All of them should coexist harmoniously and form an organic whole. Furthermore, they all rely on in-depth analysis and the planning specific area of the city, ensuring that each area has its unique function and positioning, while playing its due role in the city as a whole. However, urban design and planning differ in emphasis and methods. Urban design focuses more on the relationship between the public space outside the building and the creation of a specific urban space. As mentioned above, it emphasizes rational-dominated comprehensive analysis to design. In addition, urban design also places special emphasis on people's spatial cognition and specific experience. That is, the design should not only be beautiful but also practical. In contrast, urban planning is concerned with the broader picture of city development and pays more attention to the allocation of the relationship between social, economic, and cultural resources. It includes different levels of planning, such as master planning, zoning, special district planning, and others. The purpose of our urban planning is to solve the overall urban positioning, urban nature, multi-plan coordination, and planning layout. This requires planners to have not only a macro perspective, but also be able to coordinate the interests of all parties to ensure the sustainable development. Here is an example of urban planners engaging in urban design. This is the famous Garden City proposal by Howard in 1898. It can be seen that planners tend to understand and design in two-dimensional relationship between the various components in cities. So when we compare urban design and landscape architecture, while both disciplines focus on shaping outdoor spaces, urban design takes a broader approach, considering the overall structure and organization of a city, including streets, buildings, and public spaces, while landscape architecture focuses on the detailed design of specific outdoor areas, primarily concerning plants, topography, and hardscaping. Essentially, urban design looks at the big picture of a city, while landscape architecture focuses on the smaller, more intimate details within that city's landscape. Here's an example of landscape architects engaging in urban design projects. This is the famous Central Park in New York designed by Olmsted in 1858. It is a masterpiece of urban design and landscape architecture. Landscape architects tend to understand and design more specific outdoor spaces through detailed designs for gardens, walkways, parks, topography, stormwater drainage, and other landscape elements. It might be better to understand the differences between the three disciplines from their design outcomes. It can be seen that architectural and landscape architectural drawings are at the smallest scale, while urban planning drawings are at the largest scale. Urban design drawings are in between the two. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave a comment. See you in the next lesson.